Hi, just making adjustments. How are we doing today? Can you believe May is almost over? Holy crap. We're at the halfway point for this year. Halfway. How's your year been going? Whew. Mine is moving fast, but I have to say there's a divine design that's leading me this season. And I'm actually kind of tickled. And today's episode is going to be Reap What You Sow. I'm going to talk about some affirmation stuff to help you because we have 4th of July, Labor Day is in America. It's a celebration of American workers. So wherever you are, if you're here in America, happy Labor Day. And I hope you do something fun. I hope you do something to celebrate your freedoms and you have a damn good time. Okay. Remember, Labor Day was set up to give people a break and to celebrate the contributions of America's workers all across the countries. The federal government's closed, most schools are closed, and the post office is closed. So a lot of businesses do honor it. Some don't, but wherever you are, I hope you have a fantastic time. So I thought since Mercury is in Taurus, and so is the sun's in Gemini. Hey, Gems, happy birthday. We just tiptoed into the Gemini cycle. I want to talk about some aromatherapies. Now, I'm really big on aromatherapy, and let me say why. Spirit gave us 5 senses. Okay, 5. And those senses are to not only help us survive, but to thrive, for us to actually be decent human beings. Because you can smell shit from a mile away. You can. You can smell something is burning, right? You can smell when something is cooking. Okay. And you can smell when something is not quite right. So you have this nose for a reason. Now, how many of us actually take the time out to seriously consider how much our senses affect us? Well, this is something I've thought about at great lengths. Now, if you happen to be a cook or like to cook, then your senses are already a little bit stronger because you have to use your taste buds and your smell to determine the flavors. Meaning, if you want Chinese, you want, Mexican, you want Italian, it's a few herbs difference, but it makes a huge difference on the impact of your food. Correct? Right. Well, we have the same sense, guys. Spirit gave us the same sense to use in a way more common, called common sense, which takes all of these 5 senses mhm, and helps you stay a little ahead of the game. Yeah, so you don't have to get caught up in nonsense. I'm not saying nonsense does not exist because there is a part of life where you're interacting with others, family, friends, jobs, coworkers. So we do have to have a flow because, well, we're human and we need each other. I'm talking about your internal spiritual well being. That's self soothing. You know, when those triggers happen to say you ain't worth it, you can't make that happen, you're ugly, you're not smart enough, your body isn't the right proportion, your skin doesn't look the way you want it to look, whatever the case is. It's that demon, it's that dark energy that comes knocking on the door, right? Well, I, as a spiritual life coach, I've helped hundreds of people connect with their power from internal through their spiritual development. So you do have to have faith. You don't have faith. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You guys have a nice day. Bye. Because you got to have faith here. Faith is the evidence of things not seen, of the hope of what is yet to come. And with your faith, you're going to keep making steps towards your goals and your aspirations. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you need support in that faith. And that's why God's given us all of these senses. Now, I love aromatherapy, okay? But like I said, I also like to cook. So if you like to cook and you like aromatherapy, Cool. But if you like to eat, you still are doing aromatherapy. So I want to share with you, especially since we're coming up on this weekend, and I know you guys are going to be running around, a couple little things that could you have around the house that could help you, keep the bugs away and keep smelling good. Now, one of the big scents here in the United States, I think people are actually addicted to it, is coffee. I don't even drink it, okay? But it is a stimulant. Ooh. Mm. I mean, I don't even drink coffee, and I can simulate what this tastes like because that's how strong my sense is. Well, guess what? This is aromatherapy. We associate it with waking up. We associate it with connecting to our consciousness through stimulations of caffeine. Mm. Everywhere you go, doctors' offices, hospitals, nurses, police stations, what do they have? Coffee. Okay. And after a while, this scent becomes associated with safety and being in a good place and being in a place where there's stimulating conversation, or being in a place that could help you get to a stimulating, safe conversation. Do you see what I'm saying? This is aromatherapy right here. And how many of us even know how important it is to stimulate ourselves in the morning? Now, I'm just using coffee as an example. Everybody's got their own different stimulants. But what I find so fascinating about this is, like I said, I don't drink coffee. Yet even I know the taste and smell of this. And when I smell, I know somebody in my house is up trying to wake up, and or I'm in a vacation situation because I do not use this. So for me personally, I don't smell coffee. Only I'm around other people who are my family and my friends and my acquaintances. So for this always tells me someone's trying to wake up. That's my association with it. Now, another trigger, because scents have triggers to them. That's why we're talking about aromatherapy today. So when you figure out what your trigger is with different scents, you can also figure out a way to self-soothe. And we came up with that. I came up with that with the candle business. Those candle colors and fragrances have been working for many, many years. And the aromatherapy, along with the affirmation, has been proven to help people self-soothe. So go to candlesbyari.com and check out my candles. Get a sample. Get a sample. Because you don't realize how strong your sense of your nose is. You don't until you absolutely have to need it, right? Like you're hungry or you're scared or you're tripping or stuff going nuts, right? You don't have to wait that long. When I'm talking about reaping what you sow, you can start by just paying attention to what's going on in your immediate circumstances. You don't have to go cuckoo and try to rush anything on the outside. You can just calm down, get centered, and pay attention who's making coffee around you. Because that is aromatherapy. And once you start paying attention to what comes up with just, I'm using coffee as an example, you start seeing things a little bit different. That's the trigger. That's the trigger. And you can learn how to do that. You can. Like I said, I've made products specifically to help self soothe those nuances. We're in a Mercury Taurus right now. It's very sensual. It needs grounding. It's ruled by Venus. That Mercury wants calm. If it can't get its way, that's where earthquakes start happening. You hear what I'm saying? So it's better for you to calm yourself, find a way to connect with yourself, than to get so angry and so just that you explode, not implode, explode, and you can't take it back. Can't take it back. You say things that you probably do not mean, but you mean them when you say them. And that, my friend, is losing it. When you're losing your shit, sometimes you just say, and keep going. And then by that point, you're like, hey, let's just set the house on fire. That's when you have to calm yourself down, because you don't need to set the house on fire. You could make a very valid point and people will hear you. And with Mercury being in Taurus, especially for my earth signs, you have a lot of grounding, but you can also have very poor execution if you're not slowing down and listening and paying attention to what's happening around you. Okay? Because sometimes, guess what? It's not you. Yeah. Believe it or not, I mean, you can ask this in the chat. How many times you start tripping and you always think, I'm tripping? You have just put a thumbs up or put hands up, and every time something goes wrong, you immediately blame yourself. You just assume you didn't get the information, you don't understand what's being said to you, right? And you want to beat yourself up. We do it all the time, especially women. I think we're just, almost programmed to just find something wrong with ourselves. And I say, forget that shit. Accept this, who it is, where it is, and love it. Okay? Because if you don't love it, how is somebody else going to like it? Just saying. So listen to yourself. Smell what is going on around you. And if you smell some bullshit, it's probably bullshit. You know, they say where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, normally if you smell doo-doo, there's usually some doo-doo about to start or is in progress. And hey, everybody got some doo-doo. We all full of shit. We work with shit. It's the way it is. But you balance with it. You don't make it cuckoo. You don't make yourself crazy. Hey, Harmony, thanks for joining on TikTok. So when I look at astrology and I look at aromatherapy, I look for ways for you to keep from falling into that hole of just despair and darkness and everything's against me. You know the hole. I don't need to really, emphasize how big and wide that can be. And it has no bottom. Just for the record, negativity has no bottom. None. That's why you have to hit your own bottom to stop yourself. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that starts with what's going on in here. So I'm using the analogy of coffee, and I am going to be putting some little tidbits out, doing a little blast tomorrow about some fragrances and stuff you can use to keep mosquitoes away. Because, as we're going out to the beach and the parks, and I hope you guys are having a fabulous time. If you do little things before prepping your clothes, it'll save you a lot of negativity when you're out dealing with the critters of the nature. Hi, Cassie. Congratulations. Beautiful. Take care of you and your little one. So caffeine is a stimulant. And I just want you to stop and think for a second. Who do you associate caffeine with coffee in your life? Just a little exercise I like to do just so people can tune in to see their subconscious programming. When you're around coffee, and I show you the example of me, I don't drink coffee at all. This isn't even my coffee. I took this from a friend of mine. Probably too big and she's going to kick my butt later, but I took it. Anywho, when I smell coffee, I know something's going on in my house and around me because I do not drink coffee. I don't even buy it. So when you think about caffeine, let's just go with coffee, for example. What things pop up for you? What connects with caffeine or coffee? Is it a good memory? Is it a bad memory? Is it just fun? Not? Is it just fun? See, when we start using that aromatherapy and realize it's stronger than we think, it's just coffee. God bless you. Oh, it's a rush. Okay. All right. So, wherever it brings you, that's kind of a trigger. And I'm using a neutral one so it doesn't, require any tripping. But think about as you go through your day, how many triggers you stumble across. And your aromatherapy usually gives you a little way to chill that out, to relax that a little bit. Coffee, like I said, this is my girlfriend's lifeline. If she don't get her coffee, she's been my dear friend for 20 years. She is stupid in the morning, like fussy, bitchy, throwing shit. I was like, drink your coffee now. Okay, because I can't deal with it. I'm like, it's not my fault you're that. I'm sorry, but we're friends. So she knows I'm telling her the truth. Like, she don't act right with her coffee, but I get it because that's her jam. That's her stuff. She's been doing it. That's what she does. Hey, who am I to say it's wrong? I just think it's a little bit funny how this triggers the shit out of her. So I was like, interesting. Now, another little scent that I just, first of all, I dig it because I clean with it all the time. I have a tree in the backyard that has all of these lovely, lovely, lovely lemons. Okay. Now, just a little footnote, whenever you cut a lemon and you don't use all of it, just sprinkle it with sea salt on top and just put it in the refrigerator or leave it out, whatever you want. And literally, it will like kind of put a natural sealant. And you got about 2 or 3 days, you can get a little extra lemon out of this. Okay. Now, lemon for me is a big old trigger because I grew up eating seafood in Corpus Christi. I was born on the Gulf of Mexico. So seafood was just a part of the day-to-day life, that and beef and that sort of thing. And my grandmother could cook. My grandma could cook. Okay, so I was constantly in just bombarded with good seafood on a regular basis. Hey Cornelius, how you doing? So for me, lemon, I mean, even when I was a poor college student and couldn't afford a lot of things, I would get lemon, baking soda, a little Dawn dishwashing liquid, and that would be my go-to for cleaning. It would be my go-to for my clothes, if I got a little stain anywhere, just because my grandma showed me how to use natural lemon, including the zest. I have some limoncello I'm actually making. Maybe I'll show you guys before I jump off today. But lemon is another one of those super ones. It's a powerful one. Okay. Now, when you learn how to incorporate this, now, first thing you think about is lemonade, right? Limoncellos, right? Ceviches, because that's like the perfect use for it. But you can also use it for cleansing. Mhm. Your bathroom, you can take baking soda and lemons. It's a natural astringent, and put it in the wash, put it under the rim, and it will sanitize and cleanse everything. It also bubble up a little bit because that's its natural reaction. So lemons. Now, how many of us use lemons? Now, I have a habit. I've developed a habit that when I go out, I make a deal with myself to always get a glass of ice water. And then I ask for lemons on the side and I squeeze my lemons into my water. And then I make myself sip on it throughout the meal, even if we're having cocktails. Why? Because it keeps me hydrated, number one. And number two, it's a great astringent. Okay. Because one of the things that when you don't take care of your skin, you guys, is it shows up. Mhm. In the form of pimples and dirt and all that good stuff. Hey, Papa Hood, how you doing? Hope all is well. Happy Labor Day. So when you're looking at a lemon, I don't want you just to have to look at it just as a fruit. Okay, look at it as all the properties that you can get out of it. Because you can even dry out the skin and put it through a blender and make lemon powder out of it. I mean, the possibilities are endless because it's pretty much damn near all water. Yeah, I mean, look at it. It is pretty much all water. That's just sea salt on top. Whenever you cut a lemon and you want to save it or preserve it, just put some sea salt on top and let it just seal it naturally. It's great. I love it. It gives me an extra 2 or 3 days if I don't know it because I don't know what to do with some of the lemons. Like my tree has been giving me like I didn't okay, let me confess. I did not trim my tree last season. Okay, so I confess she needed a haircut. I didn't do it. So this year it's like sprouted straight up and then at the top up. So all the newest lemons are at the very top. And even with my, I don't know, it's called like a tong. It's a utensil we use to pull them down. It's still hard to get them, but it's my fault. because I did not prune her. She will be getting pruned this summer because we're not going to be doing this next year because this is so anyway. So the ones that are coming down are like crazy big, and one of them hit me upside my head, and I was like, "Okay, you getting pruned?" It was like the tree said, "And don't be doing that to me." I'm like, "Fudge knockers." Okay, so aromatherapy with lemon. Now here at Candles by Ari, spiritual coach Ari Mac. That's my candle company. We have a candle that's lemon verbena with the color canary yellow, which is what everybody thinks lemon looks like because it does. Look at that. That freaking matches. You see that? It's gorgeous. Okay, this automatically is another trigger for aromatherapy. And it's natural. It's not that expensive to get. Oh, the candle is. Candle's like $30, but trust me, you want it. Trust me. But the lemon, not that hard to get, not that expensive. So many functions. So many functions. This summer, if you have like an area you're going to be in, just try to put some lemon around the edges before you start anything. It disinfects. You can wipe it down or let it naturally dry, especially if you have kids around. Just keep an extra little lemon, little slices of lemon to wash their hands real fast and then rinse them off. It'll keep them from putting sticky stuff all over the place. And with the adults, I find that they prefer lemons because it's natural and it's citrus and it's quick. It's just quick. You just hit it and it's gone. But lemon, how many of you guys actually use lemon in your cooking? Okay. So I like to think that the universe gave us all the keys and all the information. We just have to decipher it within ourselves and understand ourselves so that we can be better versions of who we are to others. You can't give something you don't have. That's why they always say, put the oxygen mask on you first, because if you don't survive, how are you going to help others? Well, spiritual coach Ari Mac, that's what it's about, helping yourself first. Giving yourself permission to breathe. Investing in your mental and spiritual well-being because you're worth it and you need it. And I find the more that you connect with yourself, the better quality of life you have. If you want it. If you do not want it, you will find a way to stay where you are. I've seen so much personal self-sabotage, just people not knowing how to accept their good or not knowing how to let go of things that no longer work. It's this thing called life is a journey, and it's a lot of different phases in the journey. So you got to kind of figure out, what do I want to reap? Because whatever you reap is what you're going to sow, right? So you have to put some time in, and then you got to nurture it. And you got to look for the good that you're asking for. That's where the spiritual disciplines come in. That's where understanding how astrology, affirmations, and aromatherapy connect with you so that you can make that better choice. Or get to the point with some of my people, they kind of laugh at themselves because they already know their natural inclination is to go do something silly because that's just what they're used to. And it gets to the point where you laugh at yourself. It's true. It's true, guys. When you are changing a habit, especially one that you know is detrimental to your persons, you know that this particular habit is not bringing you, pushing you forward, or gaining any traction. But you may be addicted to it. It could be a substance abuse issue, could be a psychological. I think the mental ones are the hardest ones because those are the lessons we learned as little people. And as you grow up, those messages are embedded in you. It's not even something you're conscious of. It's just how you think, how you consider things. So when you want to better yourself, you want to go toward the challenges in the sense of being the best in your field, gaining understanding to be a great person in your field, maybe even an expert. If you want a relationship, then you have to learn how to love yourself so you can love someone else. Why? So when someone tries to be there for you, you know how to let them. Yeah, you know how to open your heart and let that love in instead of being all like, because you don't trust yourself. So therefore, you don't trust the person. Know thyself. Simplify. I think that's what they say in the Marines. Know thyself. It's imperative. That's my jam here. My whole spiritual coaching is about you getting that inspiration to keep making those steps, to keep taking those bold moves so that at least you're being the very best, very, very best version of yourself, which nobody can take away from you. No one can take away your personal accomplishments when you know they're internal. You're not looking for outside validation. When you're looking for that internal resolution and to see yourself moving past the block that's maybe been there too damn long, and you're finally just tired of it and you just want to work through it, well, sometimes, conventional therapists work. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of different forms of meditation, medication, and everything in between. But I think if you're willing to work on yourself, then you're willing to explore what that challenge is. And that's what I do, is move toward that challenge, toward that blockage, and have it be removed. Because a lot of times it's just something we need to work through. I'd say 100% of the time, it's something we as adults, as a more mature person, as a spiritual enlightened being, stop asking for the outside to validate, but open up to the inside of accepting, why did I get to that point? How did I mentally figure this out? Was that a deductive reasoning thing, or was I just tripping? Hell, where is the blueprint from? I mean, really getting in there and asking yourself, why do I do the things that I do? Why? Why do I feel like I'm being persecuted? I'm not saying you may not be doing some stuff and make people want to kick your ass, because that's your own personal thing. But if you're finding yourself living there a little bit too long, then ask yourself why. Aromatherapy is available to all of us. You just have to learn how to tune into your aromatherapy in your natural environment. I'm sure you have pepper somewhere in your cupboard and maybe a few spices in your cupboard. Those are all herbs. They're scent, they've grown from, they've been around forever. Because I think the universe said at some point our bodies may need, some calcium in a different way, or vitamin C, or some vitamin D, right? Because that's what herbs, aromatherapy usually represents in our nervous system. When I look at lemon, when I look at this color and the lemon, this always reminds me of communications. This is my trigger. Okay. I think because as a child, we used to make lemonade mostly in the summertime. And whenever we made lemonade, me and my brother would try to do like a lemonade stand, but like not a really good, well ran one, because we get tired and start drinking our own stuff. And then we want to charge different people different prices. We were just kids. But at the end of the day, we always made the lemons from scratch. And I just remember that being the funnest time for us, because he would definitely try to boss me around. And I definitely would ask him, why am I the one being bossed around? And he would say that was a good question. And then we get into a debate discussion, not paying attention to the work. Bottom line for me, when I think about lemons, I think about hanging out with my brother, listening to his no nonsensical understanding of of what we were doing. And we only did it for a couple of seasons. We didn't do it that long, but the memory, you guys, the memory lives on in my soul, in my soul. So I mean, I don't think of him as much as lemons, because I'm now doing more, but that feeling is still associated with the lemon. And that's what I'm trying to say. That was a memory that was tripped. That was called a trigger right there, and brought up a memory that I had tucked away somewhere. How many of us do that? How many of us have so many different triggers we don't even know? Well, exploring yourself, opening up to all that the universe has to offer, starts with you just affirming. Think about the affirmations that you say every day. Because the affirmations in aromatherapy, go hand in hand. Astrology is there, that's in the stars. We don't have any control over that. But with Mercury being in Venus right now, being in Taurus, it's time for us to say some nicer, more positive things to ourselves. You know, I have over 300 episodes of iHeart of spiritual coaching with Ari Mac. Most of them do have affirmations in them, so you may want to listen to some of them. I'm not giving out affirmations anymore because I figure you guys have enough affirmations out there. Besides, I want to give them to people who are ready to do the work. Okay, so if you need affirmations, I do have some. They're on my website. I do have a free report with the affirmations in them. And I also have all of my previous shows that have affirmations somewhere included in there. So definitely check out Spiritual Coaching with Ari Mac on iHeart.com. And of course, wherever you are, subscribe, like, follow, send me some positive energy. Because that's what this is about. It's sending out some good energy because Lord knows we need it down here. It is a sad, sad world when we can't be nice to one another. And it does happen. And it's a sad thing to see, to witness, and especially when it involves children. But we do have to continue to hold that light inside of us and do not let anyone extinguish that. They simply don't have permission. They just don't have permission. So if that means you leave some people alone for a minute, then do so. Always protect your mental well-being. Always protect your mental well-being. It's priceless, you guys. You do not need to fall into despair, disappointment, and depression. You need to uplift yourself and get away from the crap that is drawing negativity to you. And I know because I've witnessed it. I've seen it. It's a very slow moving train, but it does move. And next thing you know, you're in Doodoo'ville. You're like, how the hell did I get to Doodoo'ville? What? Did I take a left or did I take a right? I mean, you're like seriously confused because maybe you hung out with the wrong person too long and they were doing some questionable things and you just acted like it wasn't happening. Right? Or my favorite is you let somebody talk you into doing something you know damn well you shouldn't be doing. Everything inside you is going, no, 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 no. And you still do it anyway. Isn't that one of those kickers? So we reap what we sow. So why don't we put some good stuff out there so we can sow some good stuff? Let's get into the cycle of moving towards success, happiness, starting with our health. Okay, aromatherapy is a great way to start with that. I told you I use my lemons, okay? Even when I'm out, I get glasses, ice, just a cup of ice water, and I ask for lemons and I put my lemons in the water and I also use it to sanitize my hands at the table because my grandma taught us that if you're at something where y'all have to share, just take a squig of lemon, wash your hands with the napkin, just to be courteous. So we have aromatherapy to help keep us on a path of cleanliness and good health and clean skin, but we have to use it. Use it, yeah. And that requires some effort. Mm-hmm. Now, are you drinking your water? Mm-hmm. I try to do 2 or 3 of these a day. Now, I'm going to confess, I tried to use the iron things, but for me, it was encumbering. They just, So, but I do recycle. So that's why I use these to calculate my water. And when I don't drink enough of those, I can feel it in my skin. So that's my measuring stick. What's yours? Do you drink enough water? 64 ounces of water in a 24-hour window. That's reasonable because you have to irrigate your system, guys. You don't want to be emotionally, psychologically, and mentally constipated, do you? I mean, I'm asking, are you interested in constipation? Because it don't sound like no fun to me to be full of shit. I mean, hey, people got to do what they got to do. They go through medical stuff, wrong medications. I get it. Or sometimes just poor eating habits. But water, I think we can work with the water. Don't you think? I think we can pull off the water situation. So if you could just try to eat just one extra cup a day, that's it. And then maybe in the evening, add another cup. Start there. You don't, it's like yoga. The more you practice, the better you get. Why? Because your mind opens up to your body's possibilities. But you're only going to experience that with the more intense you relax into your sessions, because the body just needs to relax into a pose. It's not a competition. And it's the same thing with us. We have to spend some time thinking about what energies are we trying to connect with. Are we trying to please everybody outside of ourselves? And I'm not talking about if you have little kids or stuff like that. That's what I'm not speaking of. I'm speaking on if you are at a point in your life where things are just not working out and you're tired. You want things to work out. So you got to look at what am I doing to contribute or not contribute to those, and just be real honest with yourself. With Mercury being in Taurus, it's a good time to reap that soul stuff, to sit down with self and really think through what am I trying to do here. Meditating is a great way to do that, guys. Put on some music, relax, breathe, and just be with yourself for a moment. And if you can't do it alone, hey, I do a group meditation twice a month, but there's also a bunch of different ways. Go out to the ocean. There's plenty of extra meditation stuff online. So it just depends on where you are and where you want to be. Okay. Now we have a 3-day weekend coming up here in the United States, and I hope that you guys are thinking about doing something really, really, really cool. Okay, because it's a celebration of labor. And I know everybody's been working their tushies off to try to maintain their lifestyles. And I get it. But with Mercury being in the planet of Taurus right now and the sun just moving into Gemini, it's really about communicating through a more relaxed point of view, like a calming, like, just a silk blouse, something really gentle, really soft, a fragrance that makes you feel like home. Mm. When I smell lemon, I'm telling you, I could taste it. I think lemonades, and it just, mm. Now, I'm, of course, use it also for cleaning. I use the rye and I make limoncello, but that's me because I'm in love with that whole idea of just multitasking. God's gift. I mean, look at this. This is like God's gift. I have a tree outside. I put sea salt on top to kind of seal it so it would stop and it wouldn't dry out. Okay. What aromatherapy do you have around you? What are your triggers? Do you know? Do you have a favorite scent? It's a good question, isn't it? Just stop and spend some moments thinking about how you can self soothe with your scents and fragrances that are around you. Or maybe go find one. Actually, go out and explore your neighborhood. Enjoy what the natural circumstances that are around you, because you never know. You never know. Maybe you're walking by a treasure and you ain't paying no attention to it. Mhm. Just use your sense of self. You can smell, you can taste, you can talk, you can touch, you can feel. Okay, so use those senses and think about what you're affirming to. Mercury in this position of Taurus, because even though the sun is in Gemini, we still have Taurus flavor over us until, you know, June. That doesn't mean you're not, people born during this period are not Geminis. They are. They just have a different flavor. And I've just noticed over the years certain things from certain divisions of the signs. So that's why I'm recommending strongly to think about, this holiday weekend, what can you do to self-soothe? What aromatherapies can you tap into? Now I'm going to be sending out a little note with a little potion that I use to keep the insects away. So if you want that, go to candlesbyari.com. Make sure you join up to get the newsletter that'll be coming out tomorrow. Yes, I'll be shipping that out tomorrow. because I want you guys to have a nice weekend. And you know, one of the things I cannot stand is when you go set up outdoors, you forget the critters live outdoors. You forget that that's their natural domain. And as the evening progresses and they become more and more available, you know, I'm talking about the little natty, especially if you're in a grass area, because we like to watch fireworks and stuff. Those little things will just ignore the dickens out of you. I mean, by the end, you're like, ah. So I have a formula that I'm going to be giving away, just my how to keep the mosquitoes and flies away. And it's a little thing you can put in a spray bottle and it'll just keep it kind of even keeled. And I love it because I went to a party once and it was something under the freaking table. I can't tell you, we were outdoors. When I left, I had on shorts. Something kept biting me. I had bite marks on all, like both sides of my legs. And then the lady said, yeah, she put the sentinel, what's it called? It's one of those candles that's supposed to make a scent go away, but the stream was going the opposite way, so it wasn't going nowhere near the table. It's supposed to circulate on the table. No, I'm just telling you that sucked. That was the worst holiday. I mean, I had to go home and put all kinds of stuff on my legs, and then I was so pissed I stayed home because I looked like somebody had beat me up. So yeah, I have a real big thing about insects, and I know we're in their domain, so I try to be respectful. But no, you don't have permission to eat me. No, I'm gonna leave that alone. Anywho, so definitely join up so I can send you out that little tidbit that's coming out tomorrow. Cucumber relish. All right, here's what I did. You know, I've been giving out some recipes and some good stuff that I've been using. Well, we took cucumbers last night, and my daughter was supposed to slice them. She kind of ran them through the finer grade, so we ended up making cucumber relish. Who knew? And it basically was cucumber, honey, red wine, rice wine vinegar, red onions, but I had white onions, so white onions made the difference. Fresh dill, chives, and black pepper. You can also add a little salt if you want to. Kind of measure it based on how much cucumber you like. We used 2 big cucumbers, and now I'm going to be making hamburgers with this relish today because it's just so yummy. I have to figure out a way to use it. Find a way to just incorporate a few extra cucumbers into your diet. I will also include a recipe that I have used in my blast, so you definitely want to get that. So you get 2 yummy things to use for the holiday, the Labor Day holiday, and you don't have to do too much. Cucumbers are like dirt cheap, and they go a long way, and they're so good for the skin. They're so good for the skin. So definitely join up on that. And wow, guys, we're at the halfway point of this year. So I'd like you to take some time and think about where you at on your goals. Where do you want to be? Are you moving toward them? Seriously, let's take some time and do a little reevaluation because you have some extra time right now. Okay, you got an extra couple of hours. I know you can find 20 minutes and just go over that personal goal list and let's reconnect. Okay. Don't forget to check out my websites, candlesbyari.com and spiritual coaching with arimac.com. That's a long one, I know, but it's there. Of course, here on YouTube, I go at least live once or twice a week and I put up all kinds of good stuff that can help you find your pathway. We offer classes, one-on-one sessions, and of course, new programs that we just developed, such as the GAP, which is the Guided Astrology Program. That's my weekly Zoom links with you guys to go over the details of what's going on with your particular sign. It's designed to inspire with aromatherapy and affirmations. More importantly, give you the insight to keep you from showing your assets because we want to move up, not down. So definitely check out the GAP program at at candlesbyari.com. It's intro price at $9.99. You can't beat that with the stick. Regular price $29.99. But so it's less than $10 a week for a video and or an audio to keep you from showing your assets. Okay. It's well worth it, and it gives you the insight. You can even send me questions, and I'll try to answer them as I do the evaluations each week. So we have things available. We have ways to connect, and that's what we're going to be doing now because we're not going backwards. No, sorry, Bob. And I'm learning just as much as you guys are. All right. Just the journey of learning more about the online world and looking at my niche and seeing where you guys need the most help. And I know it's with that internal. And astrology gives me your skeleton, gives me the insight of where your strengths and weaknesses are. Okay? The aromatherapy is there to self-soothe. It's given to you automatically. And the affirmations, they work, guys, especially when you learn the affirmation is not working. Like the one you're saying to yourself that's sabotaging yourself. So use this time that we have every week. Follow, like, please check out my programs. Like I said, it's a very small investment, but it's so important for your mental well being. Because if you don't have anything to look forward to, you have no information coming in, it's like suffocating. Eventually, you will give out. And that's no good. It's no good at all. We don't come down here to lose, we came down here to shine. So let your light shine. Now, I am live several times on TikTok, so guys, look for me. Subscribe, follow, share. And you guys here on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate you taking time out. This episode will be up available immediately. Please leave more comments, share, and stay blessed. All right, guys. Till next week. Okay, bye. Bye. Oh, there you go. Bye. Bye.